Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Today is Tuesday, March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Welcome back to my channel and to another bi-weekly grocery haul. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Janice. I live and work in Manitoba, Canada. I work at a Canadian grocery store chain called Sobeys, and I do some of my shopping there because of the Scene Plus points program, meaning you can earn and redeem Scene Plus points in store. Plus I have a small employee discount. And I do the rest of my shopping primarily at Real Canadian Superstore for the PC Optimum Points program there. So that's where I do the majority of my shopping, is those two stores. There's the odd exception. Sometimes I might get the odd thing at Walmart or somewhere else, but generally speaking, that's where I do most of my shopping. I usually do a fairly good size shop every 2 weeks, give or take, and that is what this is. As I said, today's Tuesday, March 17th. All of these items I bought yesterday. On Monday, March 16th, I was paid at the end of last week, and so was my husband. And so that was yesterday was one of my days off, and that was the day to get some of this done. So this first clip is going to be the bulk of my shop, and it is from Real Canadian Superstore. Some of these items are on my offers, and some are just things that I either wanted or needed, or were sale items or what have you. So let's get to it. I took this opportunity to buy some Easter stuff because obviously Easter's just a couple weeks off here. And I mean, my daughter's in her 20s. She still lives at home, but I still give both her and my husband goodies at Easter. I mean, why not? He usually gets me something too, right? So this bag of Hershey foil wrapped eggs. There we go. Tuesday morning. I can't speak. Forgive me, guys. And this one wants to fall over already. That's going really well. Okay, start again. Hershey foil wrapped eggs. Those, probably divide those up. Probably put the majority of those in my daughter's Easter basket. They were $14.77. And then I got her this small little polka dot bunny. That was $7. And then this Reese's one is for my husband. That is also $7. He loves anything Reese's, so that'll be he's not going to get like a full-on basket. I'll just give him a few little goodies, and that will be one of them. And then these little Twizzlers bunnies, these are going to go in my daughter's basket. They were $4. And I believe, I'm trying to find where the other ones were. These guys here, the Jolly Ranchers, these Jolly Rancher gummies, these were also $4, and they're also going to be for her basket. And then over here, here's the Cadbury mini eggs. They were $18 for this big bag, but I use those. Some of them we just snack on just for a treat, but I also have a recipe for a cookie that I make around Easter time, and they require these little mini eggs in them. So I usually try and make those every Easter. Easter time is also when I do one of the 3 times a year that I do my fire hall deliveries of baking and homemade gems. And one year I put about a dozen or 2 of these cookies with the mini eggs in them, and the firefighters said those were just like the best things ever. So I will probably try and make a double or triple batch out of those, because I can't remember off the top of my head how many of these eggs are needed in a batch of cookies, but it doesn't take the whole bag. This is a big bag here. I'm trying to see if I can see the weight on it, or if that'll knock everything else over doing that. Oh, here it is, 875 grams. So even if it takes a half a cup or 3/4 of a cup or 1 cup or something in a batch of cookies, I'm pretty sure I could probably get 2 or 3 batches out of that, and maybe even still have a few left over for snacking. I don't know, we'll see. But that's a big part of why I buy those, is for those cookies. And again, that was $18. And then I bought this store brand 8 vegetable cocktail juice. That is where was it? It was $4 for that. It is a 1.89 liter. I'm not a big fan of tomato juice or anything of that sort, but my husband doesn't mind it. And what I also use this in is when I make meatloaf. I have a specific meatloaf recipe from one of my cookbooks I use that requires some basically vegetable cocktail juice. So that's what I use that in. And then whatever I don't need out of that, you know, he can drink that if he so chooses. And then I bought 1 carton of just orange juice. This was $2.49. And again, heading into my fire hall deliveries for Easter, I'd like to make some orange cranberry muffins and maybe an orange loaf or something. I did get a couple of navel oranges as well to zest and to maybe take the juice from those for certain recipes. But there's one recipe I have that just simply calls for like a cup of orange juice. So I just wanted to get a carton of that to use in a recipe. And then I got a store brand jar of Alfredo sauce. There's a recipe I saw online for a crock pot Alfredo lasagna. I believe it was an Alfredo chicken lasagna, actually. I've never bought Alfredo sauce before in my life, but that recipe sounded quite good. I like making regular beef lasagna. I've never made a lasagna in the crock pot, but it seemed like a pretty easy recipe to follow, so I might give that a try in the next little while here. That was $3.50 for the Alfredo sauce. And then over here, we've had a little bit of an impulse buy. These Oreos were on sale, $2.48 each, limit of 4. But I bought these because they had some unique flavors, at least unique to us here in Canada anyway. The mint Oreos, we've had those here for a long time. And I just happen to like anything that's chocolate mint, so I decided to go for that. And the maple cream I think we've had for a little while too, perhaps, but I just haven't bought that one before. I want to give that a try. And these actually say baked in or prepared in Canada. Quite often when we would do our pre-Christmas cross-border shopping trips to North Dakota, quite often if we'd go down to the Fargo or Grand Forks or something like that to do some shopping before Christmas, we would find different flavors of Oreos that we just don't have here or didn't have here. Now we're starting to get them. But at the time, that was kind of the place to go if you wanted the unique flavors of things. Now we're starting to see them here. But these do say, though, that they're baked in Canada. And then this flavor here is a brown sugar bubble tea. I'm actually thinking of giving that to my daughter at Easter time. I remember, I don't know if she's really been into it as much lately, but I remember for a while there she was on a bubble tea kick. So I thought perhaps she might actually quite enjoy those. And again, they were $2.48 each. The other day I made a big crock pot of chili, and I realized I'm down to like my last 1 or 2 cans of kidney beans, so I grabbed 3 more today. They were $1.99 each, just to restock the pantry. When I do a batch of chili, I really only use 1 can, so I'm just trying to make sure I stay on top of things with the pantry. And then I also had a points offer. If you spent $25 in the pet department, I would get bonus points there. I think it was an extra 5,000 points. It was a 5,000 points offer if you bought in the $25 or more in the pet department. So I bought, as you can hear in the background, we have parrots, but I also have a bunny, a little lion head bunny rabbit named Floyd. And so I grabbed a bag of Timothy hay at $10.99 and some of his litter for $15.49, and that gave me the $25 I needed to get those points. And then here I had a points offer on Armstrong cheese. These were $8.99 each, which is about as cheap as you're going to see them these days. Limit of 3, so I grabbed a medium and a marble and then an old cheddar at $8.99 each and got points on those. And then here, a 4 liter of 1% milk, that's $5.94. And then some frozen cranberries. They were on sale for $3.97, limit of 2. So I got 2 bags of frozen cranberries. And my husband's liking to use those in his overnight oats that he takes to work sometimes. But also, I would like to make some lemon cranberry muffins and orange cranberry muffins going into my fire hall deliveries. And I use frozen cranberries for that. So both bags are just simply frozen cranberries. And they'll be going into the freezer until such time as I'm getting ready to start doing my baking. And then pizza pops. I had a points offer on those. Okay, continuing on here. Sorry, I had a little bit of a distraction there for a moment. I started to talk about the pizza pops and then had a little minor situation to deal with. So anyway, pizza pops were on my offers. And when I went in the store, I noticed that the 4 packs of pizza pops were 2 for $8. So I could buy 2 4-packs for $8, or I could buy 1 8-pack for $7.49. Just makes more sense, right? Basically 2 4-packs for $8, or buy 8 for $8 essentially, or 1 8-pack for $7.49. Just made more sense to do it this way. So I grabbed 2 boxes, 2 8-packs, one of pepperoni and bacon. No, they're not the most nutritious thing in the world, I know, but sometimes it's nice just to throw one of those in my lunch bag for work, or have one quickly before I go to work, or as a snack or something, or my daughter likes them as well. So that's why I just grabbed a couple of those items, and it was cheaper to buy them already in an 8-pack than to buy the 2 4-packs, because, I was going to be paying 51 cents more to buy them in the 2 4-packs. So it just made more sense to go about it that way. And then a bundle of bananas. These were $1.93. And then 3 lemons. This is for my baking, because usually I have to zest lemons. So those were $1 each. That's $3. And then a couple of large navel oranges for zesting and juicing for baking. And those were, the lemons were $1 a piece. The navel oranges were by weight, and those were I want to say, oh, it says they were $5.43 just for 2 oranges, but they're big oranges at least, but still, that's not cheap. Yeah, the bananas were $1.93 and the 2 oranges were $5.40. I didn't realize they were that much, but I mean, they are large oranges, thankfully, but normally we like to buy the smaller oranges for eating, like the mandarins and that kind of thing, and buy them already in a 3-pound bag. It seems like it's cheaper than doing them in bulk, but at any rate, they're going to be for baking. And then over here, I'm going to swing over to the strawberries. These 1-pound containers were $3.84 each, so I grabbed 2. And this 2-pound container of yellow peaches were $8, so I grabbed 1 of those. And then I had an in-store points offer. It was in the online flyer for these muffins. I do like to do a lot of my own baking, but I haven't had a lot of time lately. And I saw that there was a points offer on these, so I grabbed 1 tray. They were $4.75, and I decided to go with this maple flavored muffin this time. I just haven't tried these before, and they just sounded really good, topped with maple flavored streusel. So it was $4.75, and I earned 1,500 points on them because of the points offer that was in the flyer. So I grabbed 1 of those, and then no name bread was on my offers, so I grabbed 2 loaves of white bread at $2.48 each, and got points on those. And again, like I said before, they used to be $1.97, and you know it's gone up in recent months, and so has the milk. They both increased in price. And so has some of the sandwich meat. These smaller packages of sandwich meat have always been $3.50, and now for the last month or so, they've been up to $3.75. So I grabbed a package of cooked ham, an oven-roasted chicken breast, and a cooked turkey kielbasa sausage, and then for $7, this usual pack of sub-trio meat that I like to buy as well. So that is my sandwich meat for the next 1 to 2 weeks, basically. And then in the pharmacy, I grabbed 2 boxes of tampons because they were on sale for $9 a box. Doesn't really sound like a sale price, but these days it is. They are usually up over $10 a box, so I grabbed 2. Sometimes they're on my points offers, but right now they're not, but I just simply wanted to make sure we're restocked. So points are not, we just needed to get some more in the house. And then a package of Tylenol Nighttime, that was $21.49, so I grabbed that. And I think that was it for my order. Except my husband also purchased some things separately. He has his own PC Optimum account, and he bought some things on his offers, and his bill combined with mine meant that together between the two of us we spent just over $300. And at Superstore there's usually a free item that they give you if you spend over $300. And the cashier said, okay, your 2 bills combined meet the minimum for that. So take your receipts to customer service and get your free item. So this is what the free item this week was, this set of soft grip baking tools. So I grabbed that, got 1 to bring home. Whether or not we replace some of our old utensils and use them, or whether I set them aside for my daughter to take with her someday when she moves out, I don't know. We'll see. But that is what the free item was this week. It looks like there's like a brush and measuring spoons and measuring cups. So it looks pretty neat. That's a pretty decent free item, I think. So here's the breakdown of the points. You can see here, where is it? The muffins, there's the 1,500 points on those. And then down here is the breakdown of all the rest. So I had a continuity spend offer. If I spent more than a minimum $225, I would earn 22,500 points. And I did that. So I earned that. And then there was the 5,000 points, the continuity spend on the pet supplies. And then for the no-name bread, I earned 500 points, bananas 100 points, Pillsbury Pizza Pops 1,500 points, 2,600 points on the Armstrong cheese, and apparently I earned 200 points on the PC juice, that carton of juice over there that I bought. So my total after tax was $266.32. Now, as you can see down here, I did also take $40 cash back out. So it's showing that what I earned was 33,900 PC Optimum points in one shop. So my closing balance is now 85,745 PC Optimum points. So I'm at $85 in PC Optimum points now. But because you can only redeem in increments of $10, I technically have $80 in PC Optimum points to use if I were to use them today. And considering I depleted everything in December and started fresh in January, starting to rebuild my points, to be mid-March and back at $85 already is not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. And as of my last Superstore haul a couple weeks ago, I was only sitting at just over $50 in points. So the fact that I'm at 85, I earned 33,900 points today. So almost $34 in points back in one shop today. This was a little bigger shop than what I intended to do, but it worked out pretty well. I got some good deals, some reasonably good prices, you know, considering inflation and all that. But I've managed to get some decent prices as far as sales, got some Easter goodies, and got some good points on my account. So I think that is good. Now, the next thing you're going to see is Sobeys. I did stop there later on. I had to go pick my daughter up at work at 8 o'clock, and so I stopped there and got a few things that were on sale. They had grapes on sale at Sobeys. Well, they had them on sale for $2.77 a pound at Superstore, but they're on sale for the same price at Sobeys. But because of my employee discount, it was a little bit cheaper for me to buy them there. So I'll show you what I picked up at Sobeys in this next clip, and then wrap this video up. So stay tuned for part 2. All right, so finally, to wrap up this video, here is what I got at Sobeys last night. So I had a rain check for the Campbell's chicken noodle soup. A couple of weeks ago at my work, they were on sale. These cases were on, I think, for $10.99. And the chicken noodle soup ran out real quick, and I just could not get any. So I ended up just getting a rain check for it and grabbed them last night now that they're back in stock. They had, at the time they were on sale, they had lots of the vegetable soup and the cream of mushroom soup and even the tomato soup. And I have basically the better part of 2 cases of cream of mushroom soup already, but only maybe 3 or 4 individual cans of chicken noodle soup. So that's what I was after. But the sale ended, so I made sure I got a rain check before it ended, and I grabbed them last night. I forget what the cost was on the screen full price, but it was like around $21 for these cases each until they applied the rain check. So that brought them down to $10.99 each. Now, bear in mind, any prices I talk about at Sobeys are all before my staff discount too. I get 10% off my first $150 spent in a week. So $10.99 a case, take 10% off of that, and it's even better deal. So that's what I did. I grabbed 2 cases of those, and I bought 1 paper bag to put all the smaller items in. I did buy some of these Easter cookie dough, these pre-cut. When I do my fire hall deliveries, I'm going to make a lot of different things from scratch, but I do like to have some of these on hand to add to the baskets, and also just for us to have at home too. They were $4.89 each. I've seen these as low as $3.99 at times, whether at Sobeys or Superstore in past. So I think the fact they're $4.89, I think, is partly because Sobeys can be a little bit more expensive normally on regular everyday prices, but also just an indicator of inflation. I looked in Superstore to see if I could find them there and to see what the price was, but I couldn't find them anywhere in Superstore. So I just went with Sobeys because although they're $4.89 each, I still do get my 10% off, so that makes it a little bit better. You'll take basically 49 cents off each package. So I got 2 of each package. These ones are stamped to look like with like little bunny images on them, and these ones are stamped with like little eggs and chicks on them. So 2 packs of each, some for us and some for the fire halls. They're a very quick and easy thing to throw in the oven. And then toothpaste is on for $1 right now, so I grabbed 5 tubes. I got 2 of one variety and 3 of the other at $1 each. And again, that is before my staff discount. So with the 10% off, that would make them actually 90 cents a tube, which is even better. And then mandarin oranges. These are the ones we buy just for eating every day. The big ones, the big navel oranges, are the ones I use more in baking when I zest and juice those. These are just the ones that we throw in our work lunches because they're small and easy to peel. They were $6.88 each, again before my staff discount. And there was a points offer of 500 Scene Plus points if you bought 2. So I bought 2 bags because it doesn't take us long to go through these. And as I mentioned at the end of my last clip, grapes were on for $2.77 a pound at Superstore, but they're also on for $2.77 a pound at Sobeys, and my staff discount makes it worthwhile to buy them at Sobeys because that 10% off gives the edge over Superstore. Now, for just a regular everyday customer that is not a Sobeys employee, then it doesn't matter which one you go to because the price is the same. You just go to whichever one you prefer. But because I'm an employee, it does make a little more sense to get them at Sobeys because it gives that little 10% off gives me the edge there on that item. So that is it. Now, I broke my cardinal rule of not redeeming points. I wait until Christmas every year to redeem points. I build them up all year, and that is my standard I go to. The only exception is if money is tight or the paycheck is a little bit lean or whatever, or in the case of yesterday, if I go a little bit silly in Superstore and blow the budget kind of thing. So, which is basically what I did because I wasn't expecting to do a $266 spend in Superstore. I had a continuity spend there that if you spend $225, you'd get a certain amount of points, but I spent $40 more than that. So I am pretty much maxed out on my grocery budget. So I decided to break my rule and use some Scene Plus points on this purchase. Now, normally I save the points all year, both Scene Plus and PC Optimum, and I use them at Christmas. And usually I deplete them all during the Christmas season and start from zero in January. I did that with PC Optimum. I started basically in January with 0 points again because I used them all up at Christmas. But I was left with over $100 in Scene Plus points after Christmas. So I was already starting off on pretty good footing. And as of my last grocery haul, I believe I was sitting at the $120 mark of Scene Plus points. So I decided last night to use some of my points on this purchase to help offset the cost, and because I had spent a little more than I intended to at Superstore. So what I did was I spent $50 in points. So let me show you how this went down. There's the 500 points on the mandarin oranges, and my staff discount was $6.53, and then I redeemed $50 in points. So, out of pocket, I spent $9.36. Had I not done that redemption, it would have been $59.36. So, I spent under $10 out of pocket on all this. I did redeem $50 in points to do this, but that's okay. I got some good prices on these. Like, it was a good savings on the soup. The toothpaste is $1. I redeemed $50 in points, but I earned $5 in points back on the oranges right there. So, after my redemption, I am now left with a balance of 7,234 Scene Plus points, meaning I am left with $70 in points. But I earned 500 points on the oranges, so that should be on my account probably by now or tomorrow at the latest. So I'll be sitting at 7,734 Scene Plus points, meaning I'll still be at the $70 mark of Scene Plus points, but not bad. I mean, I didn't want to use those points, but because I spent a little more than I intended to at Superstore, I thought maybe I should use some points at Sobeys to offset what I want to buy there. And that, I think that was smart, because I'm not destitute by any means here. We still have $70 in Scene Plus points left over. I earned $5 back, and I do a good bit of shopping there, and we get our prescriptions there too, and there's points on those every time as well. So it's not bad. Didn't want to use the points, but they came in handy this time. So anyway, that is everything for this grocery haul. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment down below. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you in the next video. I don't get paid again for about another 10 days, so the next grocery haul will be in about a week and a bit. However, I do have a couple of other ideas of things I'd like to film and post for you, so make sure you are subscribed with your notification bell turned on if that interests you. And yeah, that way you'll be the first to know if and when I do post something. It's now 11:30 in the morning, and I need to shower and get ready for work, and it's gone from being almost spring-like out there to it's blowing snow. We have some blustery, wintry conditions out there. It's March 17th, and unfortunately, in the Canadian prairies, though, spring isn't officially here yet. It'll be here soon on the calendar, but March is a volatile month for our weather, so I guess winter's not quite done with us yet. So hopefully you guys are having a great week wherever you are, and yeah, stay warm if it's cold where you are like it is here, and we'll see you in the next video, everybody. Take care. See you soon.